Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been banging your head against the wall trying to get your real estate business off the ground, believe me, you are not alone. Today, we're breaking down exactly how to escape those outdated 2015 methods. You know the ones, the endless door knocking, the agonizing cold calls, those strategies that just leave you completely exhausted. Instead, we're going to explore how to hit six figures fast in the modern real estate era. Because, let's face it, if you're a new agent, almost everything you've been told about getting started is built for a completely different time. I mean, sure, the old path still technically works, but it is brutally slow. We're mapping out the absolute fastest path to your first $100,000, and honestly, the best part is that it involves almost zero traditional prospecting.
But first, we need to rip the Band-Aid off and confront a pretty harsh reality. 87% of new agents burn out and quit. It's wild, right? They come into the industry with this super high energy, they just got their license, they're telling their family they're going to absolutely crush it, but then they flatline incredibly fast. And it's usually because they burn all that initial motivation on the completely wrong tasks. That leaves only a tiny 13% who actually stick around to build a thriving, long-lasting business. We call these folks the builders. Now, builders usually start a little slower. They understand this is a marathon, not a get-rich-quick scheme. But because they lay the right foundation, their growth massively accelerates right around month 5. So the million-dollar question is, how do you make sure you land in that top 13%?
To guarantee you become a builder, we're going to walk through a 5-pillar blueprint today. Surviving the valley of despair, tapping your warm database, building a content engine, mastering the perfect calendar, and finally, upgrading your environment.
All right, let's dive right into pillar number 1, surviving the valley of despair.
Think about the emotional roller coaster that pretty much every single new agent goes through. It's the ultimate obstacle. You start on day 1 and your motivation is just sky high. You pick a strategy, maybe it's YouTube, maybe it's open houses, and you completely attack it. But real estate takes time. When those immediate results don't roll in, that motivation takes a massive hit by month 2. And then comes the critical breaking point right around month 4, the valley of despair. This is where most agents convince themselves their chosen strategy just doesn't work, so they abandon ship, try something totally new, and effectively restart the clock. It's just a vicious cycle of failure. But successful agents, they do something completely different. They push right through that month 4 dip, they stay fiercely on track, and eventually they hit this amazing exponential growth phase between months 8 and 12.
Surviving that valley requires a massive shift in how you think. First up, you need sheer discipline. And by that I mean you follow through with your daily commitments regardless of your mood. But the absolute anchor here is delayed gratification. You have to extend your definition of success from this frantic 3-month window out to a 10 or even 20-year horizon. Think about it. If you genuinely plan to build wealth in real estate for the next 2 decades, not landing a client in your first 3 months doesn't really sting at all, does it? You're just laying the bricks. And finally, consistency. Doing the right, high-leverage activities every single day is exactly what builds that unstoppable momentum.
The real-world proof of this is just so inspiring. Take agent Anthony Expecta, for example. He decided to go all in on video marketing. He posted 2 videos a week for an entire year and got absolutely 0 leads. Nothing. Think about the mental fortitude that takes. I mean, most people would have thrown in the towel at month 3, complaining that the algorithm hates them. But Anthony, he pushed straight through the valley of despair. And on month 13, it finally happened. He got his first client. Because of all that relentless groundwork, he now closes a deal every single week. If he had given up anywhere in that first year, he never would have set his family financially free. Let's move right along to pillar number 2, tapping your warm database.
Okay, the absolute most common mistake new agents make is completely ignoring the people who already know, like, and trust them. So many agents play what I like to call the secret agent. They make one generic, super boring post on Facebook saying, "Hey, just got my license," and then they practically hide. Let's be honest, no one really cares about a license announcement. Everyone is naturally tuned to the radio station WIFM, what's in it for me? And worse, the general public often assumes realtors are just uneducated, lazy, or fell into this because another career didn't work out. So you have to become the storyteller. Control that narrative from day 1. Tell people exactly why you got into real estate, what specific problems you want to solve, and what you're committed to doing differently. That vulnerability gives people context and completely shatters those negative assumptions.
And the math behind telling your story to your existing network? It's undeniable. When you break down lead types, cold leads, complete strangers, are notoriously the most expensive to acquire. They have zero trust in you, and they demand the absolute most. Yet, ironically, this is where most new agents blow all their energy. Meanwhile, your hot leads, like family and friends, they already trust you deeply, and they'll give you the grace to learn the ropes. But the sweet spot? Warm leads. Past colleagues, old acquaintances, this is an incredibly lucrative middle ground. In fact, by adopting this exact storyteller approach, the creator of our source material tapped into his warm leads and made 7 deals, netting $70,000 in commission his very first year. And he did all of that just by organically reaching out to his past engineering colleagues. No way.
Which brings us to pillar number 3, building a content engine. Now, while you can find success on almost any social media platform these days, YouTube holds a massive, almost unfair advantage. Right now, less than 1% of agents are actually using it properly. That means the competition is virtually non-existent. It creates true evergreen leverage. Basically, a single video you post today acts as a digital clone, prospecting for you 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. But what's truly mind-blowing is how AI has completely shifted the landscape here. Tools like ChatGPT and Claude have entirely leveled the playing field for beginners. You literally no longer have to sit there staring at a blank screen guessing what to say. AI will map out your keyword strategy, write compelling scripts, and even optimize your titles for you. YouTube combined with AI, it is the undisputed heavyweight champion for rapid growth.
The sheer scaling power of a solid content engine is everywhere, regardless of what your personal style happens to be. Just look at these wildly different approaches. Suman acts as a calm, authoritative educator on YouTube and hit $1 million in his very first year. Amanda leaned into highly visual, aesthetic storytelling on Instagram and generated $100K in just 8 months. Then you have Noah, who took a playful, energetic creator approach on TikTok and now pulls in $100,000 every single month at just 24 years old. Content isn't just a fun little option anymore. It is the absolute fastest path to 6 figures because it scales your personal brand infinitely while you're literally sleeping.
All right, pillar number 4, mastering the perfect calendar. If you have no clients, you have nothing to manage. I want you to really let that sink in. This single sentence is the absolute antidote to the biggest illusion in real estate, busy work. It is honestly tragic how many new agents spend hours agonizing over their logos, ordering premium business cards, or meticulously color-coding a completely empty customer relationship management system. It's just so much easier to play office than to do the uncomfortable work of actually finding people to help. You shouldn't be organizing a database if there are 0 humans in it. All of that administrative organizing is really just a clever disguise for call reluctance.
When you strip away all the fluff, an agent really only has 3 core activities: getting clients, servicing clients, and nurturing clients. It's a strictly linear progression. If you have a completely empty pipeline, you obviously have no active listings to service and you have no past buyers to nurture. That means 100% of your energy belongs in step 1, getting clients. To escape that busy work trap, you need to choose exactly one active method where you are physically in front of people having real conversations, like running weekend open houses. Then pair it with one passive method, like building out that YouTube content engine. Focus purely on those 2 client-getting channels until your pipeline practically forces you into steps 2 and 3.
This might actually shock you, but it's incredibly empowering. Hitting 6 figures in your first year really only requires about 3 hours of real, highly productive prospecting work per day. That's it, just 3 hours. We're talking maybe 2 hours of active face-to-face open houses or targeted calling and an uninterrupted hour of passive content creation. The beauty of mastering this hyper-focused 3-hour window is what it does for the rest of your life. It means your afternoons and evenings are completely open for what truly matters: family, faith, hobbies, fitness. The path to 6 figures is actually very simple. It's just not always easy, because it demands you do those uncomfortable, needle-moving things daily without getting distracted.
And finally, pillar number 5, upgrading your environment.
This brings us to the ultimate truth that ties this whole entire blueprint together. You are the undeniable average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's a cliche for a reason. The contrast here is just staggering. If you plant yourself in a toxic brokerage, surrounded by agents who are constantly complaining about the local market, blaming the national economy, or mocking the idea of making video content, you will absorb that negativity and you will fail. It's contagious. On the flip side, immersing yourself in a true growth community changes absolutely everything. We're talking about high performers who share their best scripts freely, provide active mentorship, and genuinely push you to succeed. Being in an environment of winners acts as this massive safety net, practically guaranteeing you'll break 6 figures because they simply won't let you settle for less.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Take a really hard look at your daily habits right now and ask yourself, are you building a real business or are you just building a busy calendar filled with comfortable illusions? Implementing these 5 non-negotiables, mastering your mindset, tapping into your warm database, building a scalable content engine, fiercely protecting your calendar, and auditing the environment around you is the only proven way to climb out of that valley of despair. It's time to stop hiding behind busy work, stop relying on old 2015 tactics, and start actually building the real estate business you set out to create.